I'm off on another cycling and metal detecting adventure. And boy, have I got a couple of great permissions today. So I'm going back to the Field of Dreams, which is where we found lots of really obscure finds, including coins from Argentina, from China, from France, and over a dozen bits of silver so far. And I've also got another field nearby which has got an Iron Age village on it, which dates back about 2,500 years. And best of all, I'm arriving in style. And there we are, we have arrived. All thanks to the trusty DEUS C29, which has got 160 miles on the clock, and it hasn't missed a beat. What a game changer this has been. And it's actually getting me a little bit fitter as well. And there we are, we have arrived. Excuse the helmet head, I'll be putting on the woolly hat in a wee minute, so that'll help to improve that. So we're back out, just me, back out on what I was calling the Field of Dreams, which has produced some really bizarre finds. Coins from France, coins from China, coins from Argentina, which is over 7,000 miles away, and all of them from the sort of late 19th century. So I've no idea what's been going on here. There's lots and lots of Victorian glass and pottery scattered around the southern part of the field, which I haven't really tackled yet. And also it's produced over 10 pieces of silver already. So there's clearly some good stuff to be had. So as ever, if you're not already subscribed, then please hit the button. My wee legs are warmed up. I was only in assist 1, so I wasn't cheating the whole way here. But a nice almost 8-mile cycle to get me started. And I'm not even out of breath. Right, let's go and see if we can find any treasures. And here we are at the field. Now, it's been ploughed. So since I was here probably 2 weeks ago, farmer's been over it with a plough. This area of the field was all covered in furrows from the potato harvest. He hadn't ploughed it yet. Thankfully, it's quite solid underground, despite being ploughed, because we've had a lot of rain over the last week. And hopefully that has patted the ground down. So let's go and see what treasures there are to be had. A minute and a half on the clock, and we've got the first digger. And 84, 85, 86, it is a coin contender. Well, there is a lot of old aluminium and lead in and around this area. Not to be, it's copper. Well, it's copper and it's a thing, but it is ultimately junk. Well, my initial thoughts were it's another bottle top, but I don't think it is. I think it could be a little silver squashed, like a pillbox type thing, you know, like a little container for keeping little tablets in or such like. It's got the weight to it. I've dug it out. I can't see any hallmarks, but it is still pretty squashed. I'm going to have to take this home and test it. But there is an outside chance. It's certainly got the weight and it's certainly got the colour to be silver. But as I say, I can't see any hallmarks yet, but that doesn't mean it is not silver. So we'll have to check on that one, and I'll get back to you later on, but potentially a piece of silver in the first half an hour. We're 2.5 hours on the clock, and so far it's been pretty terrible. I've just come up onto a different part of the field because I was just getting lead and aluminium and possibly that little, what I'm going to call a pillbox, which could be silver, but we'll check that out later on. And finally, a screamer of an 85, and I can see it. It's a sunbather, and it's surely got to be a penny. Let's try and, didn't do a very good job there. It is a coin. It looks like a penny. I wouldn't quite say it was a sunbather, it's certainly not that kind of weather. But we've finally got a coin. It's possibly George V, but I'll give it a rub up and get back to you. Hopefully things are improving. Oh well, I hope this coin is going to be a turning point, because it's been pretty diabolical so far today for 2.5 hours of metal detecting. But we've got our first coin. It is our most common monarch, George V, sometime between 1910 and 1936. He shouldn't have been king. His older brother, Victor Albert, died in the late 1890s, I think it was. At the time, he was engaged to marry Mary of Teck, who herself was actually a granddaughter of King George III. So once again, the royal family keeping it in the family. The Victor Albert Victor, he died of influenza, but he was also being treated for gonorrhea at the time as well. So he was a bit of a mischievous young man, got up in lots of scandals. So George became king in 1910 upon the death of his father, Edward VII. So he was also the grandson of Queen Victoria. He oversaw the biggest expansion of the British Empire. 1920, I think it was. British Empire covered about 25% of the entire world, and over 500 million people were within the British Empire. And then it slowly began to fall apart, starting with Ireland. So there you go, we've got our first coin, and I'm over the moon. Fantastic. That's weird, isn't it? 65, it's lead, and yet again, it's the base of a toy soldier. Lead pewter. There is some writing on the bottom. It definitely says England, so it's going to be made in England. Just make that out. There's some other words there, but cannot quite see. And again, like previous ones, we got a pair of boots and nothing else left. So a bodiless toy soldier, probably from the turn of the last century, early 1900s, I'm guessing. But it's a find. It's just been little fragments of lead so far over the last half an hour or so. This target here though is the signal of the day. Oh, in fact, you know what, it could be on the surface. I think it is, again. It is, right there. Let's get it out in a oneer. That could well be a coin. It looks a bit brown, so it might be a... Oh no, maybe not. No, it could be a token, actually. Yeah, it could be. Okay, back to you in a moment. It is another farm token. Probably from the 1800s into the early 1900s. On the other side is the name of the farm, and it is stamped 3D, 3 pence. So, a token for the workers, part of their payment, which they could exchange in the shop that was on the farm. Fantastic! Not too dissimilar from a find I got off this field, except it had 4 of these little concave recesses, and in one of them there was a paste diamond stone. This is just 2 pieces, and there's nothing obvious there, but I think that's probably off a fragment of Victorian jewellery. Still, it's a find. Again, it was a bit of a false dawn. It's gone a bit quiet, but 61, worth a look. And we're out. Still a 61. A bit of copper maybe, or lead. Where's it gone? What's there? Well, that looks silver. That is, maybe. Why is it such a low readout? 61, maybe it isn't silver. It's got a bit of weight to it. It's not a British coin. 100 somethings. think it's 100 anyway. Unidos. Sounds Spanish to me. Have we got a Spanish coin now? I've dropped it. And that side almost looks like it's French. Well, it's a coin. I don't know if it's silver. I don't think it is. I think that's too low a readout to be a silver coin. Just try and find my water bottle. Where is it? Oh, can't find it. Oh no, there it is. Thought I'd forgotten it for a minute. I did fill it up before I left the house. This is the first time I've had to use it today. Maybe I cursed myself by filling it. So, what have we got? It actually looks, it is Liberty, so maybe it's French. But not based on the other side. So it definitely says Liberté on the hat. And on this side, oh, upside down, Unidos, Republic. So we've got a Republic of República dos Estados Unidos do 100 Reis. It's Brazil. I don't believe it. I do not believe this. That is Brazil. Is there a date? Don't actually see one. Is there a date on that side? No. Folks, we've got a Brazilian coin. A Brazilian coin from a date unknown. And this is actually, well, is it my first Brazilian coin? I think it might be. Oh, and it won't be Spanish, it'll be Portuguese. Portuguese is the language of Brazil, not Spain. Not Spanish. That is 100 rice, or 100 reis. Now, Paul, for anyone who's watched the channel for a while, Fletch Paul as he's also known, he got a huge silver coin of Brazil on a permission not that far away from where we are, or where I am, which was also from Brazil. Huge coin, it was from the end of the 19th century. This one, it's weird, no date. Maybe a date there which says like 1839, but it looks too modern a coin. This could even be very modern. I don't think it's silver. 60, 61 is just too low a readout. Would it be, I would expect it to be in the 80s. How on earth does a Brazilian coin end up in a field in Perthshire? I'll need to do some research on that, figure out how old it is, but I think it's probably like 1970s, 60s, something like that. So if anyone knows the date, then let me know. Brazil, Scots. There was a lot of Scots emigrated to Brazil in the 19th, late 19th, early 20th century. Huge expansion of the railways, the road systems, obviously lots of minerals, mining, timber, etc, etc. And two very famous Scots, Donohoe and Miller, introduced football to Brazil. The first ever official football game was, I think, 1894. And it was, I think his first name was Thomas Donohoe. He held the first official football match in Brazil. So there you go. 5 times World Cup winners, I think they are. All thanks to Scotland. You're very welcome. Fantastic. Well, I'll be interested to know how old that is. But it is another coin. And that has been 5.5 hours. And yeah, the Brazilian coin's great. I got a couple of other coins, the potential little silver pot or little pillbox. But it's been a little bit underwhelming. I expected a lot more finds, and I think probably the fact the field has been ploughed recently will have an effect on the depth and how clear targets come through. But we're not giving up, because a couple of fields away there is a scheduled monument in the field, which means I cannot metal detect it. However, I can metal detect all around it, and it dates back to the Iron Age. It's a village, multiple roundhouses, as well as a few what are called souterrains, which are underground storage chambers, and it dates back around about 2 to 2,500 years. So why not go and have a little look? So that's exactly what we're going to do. Problem is, in the distance, there are some very big black clouds, and I suspect I'm about to be rained on. Well, that'll be the rain on, and the hailstones. Happy days. Am I going to be rewarded for braving this weather? It is a fairly solid 80, bit stonier ground here, so a wee challenge for the spade. Iron. So, there could be a target, but there could also be iron there as well. 8-0. What's that? That is it. Oh, ho 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 ho! Oh wow, we've got a spindle whorl, I think. Wow, 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 what a start! And it's decorated as well. Phenomenal. What a find. I have not had a decorated spindle whorl in a long time. Years, in actual fact, I would say. That is tremendous. So this is called a drop spindle, and this would be attached to a little stick, and it was like a counterweight on the bottom, and you would use it to take rough wool and turn it into to yarn, which you could then knit clothes with. It's going to be a bit difficult in these wet conditions to dry it off, but I can already see, and I've dropped it, I can already see some dot decoration on it. This could be medieval, but it could be even older. So I'll get back to you in a minute. Look at that, folks. So that's as good as I can get it at the moment, but it is very, very nicely decorated. It's got these little incised lines, it's got these little dots on it in each of the cells, and on the other side, similar looking decoration. So that is a phenomenal find, and I've been looking for one of these for a long time. Well, that is fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. So, let me know how old you think that might be, and I'll put a little picture up to show you how it was used. But that is an absolutely brilliant find. That surpasses the 100 rice as the find of the day so far. It's a 68, and it could be a bit of silver. Let's put the wormy back in the hole. It could be, and if it's a 68 and it's silver, it could be a hammered. Ah, I don't believe it! It's a ring pull. It's a ring pull. Unbelievable. Oh well, the first moo tube. A little ointment or antibiotic. Probably squirted into the udders of a cow or into the eyes of a sheep or cow or something like that. Once again, you know my motto, if in doubt, dig it out. Squeaky little target. It was in the 80s, but it wasn't amazing. Now, a coin contender. And the one thing about metal detecting is you got to get good at digging holes and digging them quick, because it's a numbers game. The more holes you dig, the quicker you get through the junk. What's that? Lead, is it? Could be a seal. Is that it? Well, there you go. Might actually be junk. I had high hopes for a minute. It does kind of look lead. It is lead, I think. Oh, dropped it. The sun is out, thank goodness for that. I'm a little bit wet. Well, it might have been a bag seal, but if it is, then it doesn't look like one anymore. Still, it's a thing. Only a 44 readout on this one. Dug it up, and it's been gilded, so that you can see the gold flecks, but on the other side it's quite heavily gilded. No idea what it is though. Clearly it's something important if they've gone to the effort of gilding it, but I really don't know what it is. So, mystery. If you know, comment below. Oh, nearly. This is one of the best signals, if not the best signal of the day. Now, I have dug up a couple, in fact 3 pieces of copper pipe, although not one for a while. 9293. This is decent and pretty easy digging, very sandy, and we're out. 92, 93. Come on. Oh, I think it's a silver. I can see already. Right there. Yes! Yes! Yes, yes, yes! We got a silver. It's a shilling. We've got a silver. You beauty. Absolute beauty. Phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, thank goodness I filmed that, because I dug up quite a few 90s which have been copper pipe and also tin and foil, and not foil, aluminium. Right, I can definitely see the word shilling. It looks like maybe a Victorian one shilling. Don't know which way's up. It's a little bit worn. Maybe that way. Don't see a date yet, but that could be on the other side. Well, there you go. There is Victoria. It is a Victorian shilling, and it's a late one because she's got her Gothic, her mourning head on her headdress. So this is probably going to be sometime after the 1890s. You beauty. Right, back to you in a minute. Unsure. I think at the bottom there is part of the date. I think that's a 9 and a 7. Possibly. So it would be 1897. I don't even know which way is up. As you can see, it's pretty worn on the back. But there would be a shield there. And I'm guessing it would probably have the Order of the Garter, the French Norman, Honnêt soit qui mal y pense in the middle, I think. 1 shilling, so 12 old pence. At this time, 1897, if that's what the date is. We're probably talking something like 1 to 2 pence a pint. Now, I actually just watched a bit of a documentary the other day, and it was about the Glasgow Underground, which I think opened in 1897. And they were saying that to ride on the Underground, which is the 4th oldest in the world, after, I think it was London, Liverpool and Budapest were the first 3. But to ride on it when it opened cost half a penny, a halfpenny. So you could have had 24 trips on the Glasgow Underground. Now you've got all these countries with their modern undergrounds and their old-fashioned undergrounds, which have got all these arms and legs and everything attached to them. Not in Glasgow. It's just a big donut shape. Just goes round in a circle. Keep it simple. But 12 pence, 92.5% silver, Queen Victoria, and if it's 1897, then it's 3, maybe 4 years before she died. Phenomenal. A definite silver find for the day. Absolutely brilliant. A bit of silver. Mwah. Fantastic. Absolutely over the moon with that. Now, I've been working my way across this field, left to right, left to right, left to right. There's not a lot of it left of the stubble, and to get back to my car, I'm actually going to cut across what is the ploughed field. Now, it was ploughed about 6 weeks ago, so I'm hoping it's going to be okay to walk on. The far side of this ploughed field is where the souterrain is, which is that underground storage chamber. It was probably used for grain back in the Iron Age. They would store it underground to basically be able to feed themselves through the winter months, stop it from germinating. So I'm going to head in that direction. it is a scheduled monument. I've checked online. Historic Scotland have got a website that you can look at, which will show you all of the scheduled, that's protected monuments in the whole of Scotland. It pulls them up on a map, shows you exactly where you can go and where you can't go. So make sure that if you're on a site, you always look, because you don't want to get caught out. You'll end up in the jail. Right, silver. Hopefully that brings me some luck. Well, straight away on the ploughed field, I've literally just walked 10 feet into it, and it was a really debatable target. You know the motto, if in doubt dig it out. 83, 84 and a screamer. Now it's out. Might be a musket ball. And I think it is. I haven't had a musket ball in ages. Well, out the wind, in the light, always a struggle. And that is 100% a musket ball. And it's been fired, undoubtedly from a rifle. Oh, dropped it. There it is. Oh, nearly dropped it again. Right, this is not going well. Okay, it is a musket ball. It has been fired. You can see the impact mark. And that's probably from the 16, 17 into the early 1800s. Phenomenal. Another good find. Another target, just again within a few minutes. It was in the sidewall. It just pinged out there. In fact, there might be more in there. But it's there. It's lead, I think. Kind of looks round. But is it a thing? Is that a spindle whorl? Okay, take two. Untangled myself. Could be a spindle whorl, you know. If it is, it's certainly not as grand as the last one was. This wind is just terrible. Always coming off the direction of the sun. Well, it could be another drop spindle. Or it could be some sort of crude hemweight, but it's definitely slightly domed, so I think we could have another spindle whorl. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments below. The other one, as I say, could be 3, 4, 500, 1,000, even a couple of thousand years old, so it's a good sign, that's for sure. I tell you, it's another screamer. 9-0, and doesn't sound like it's very deep. I don't see anything on the surface though. A bit erratic now, it's out and jumping about a bit. Come on. Well, there it is there. Is it aluminium? Surely not that high. It's got writing on it. I think it's maybe the lid off of a little makeup item. Unfortunately, yeah, it is. Oh, that's a shame. Snow something. Snow something face powder. So it's ladies' makeup. Can't quite make out all the writing, but it's a bit of quality trash. Snowfire. Snowfire face powder. And I'm guessing it's probably, what, 1920s through to maybe 1940 or 50. But it's a find. It's a little squeaker. 86. Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. Come on. We got a clod. That is not a coin. Ooh. Ooh, it's lead. Is that another type of spindle whorl? Surely not 3 of them in a day. Well, assuming the other one is a spindle whorl. It's definitely made of lead. It's very crude. But there is a hole in the middle, I think. Yep. Well, I tell you what, I think it could be. It's not decorated like the first one, or the second one wasn't decorated. But I think it is. I think we could have 3 spindle whorls, which would be phenomenal. It's a very clean hole through the middle. It looks like it's damaged around the edge. It's been bigger originally. But that's another one for the museum, and it's another one potentially with a good bit of age to it. Phenomenal. This one was a bag of spanners, but now it's a solid 1991. It could be a bottle top though, could be. Oh, that's not silver, is it? No, it's a bottle top. Oh, heart attack. The joys of metal detecting. I think we might have a buckle. It's rectangular and it's green. What have we got? Yep, we do. We got a little horse buckle. 1850, early 1900s, something like that. But still, it's a find. Nice. And low 60s, we've got a little bit of jewellery, I think. The remnants of a little chain, which probably is brass or copper alloy with originally a gilding on the top. Yep. So it could be like a bracelet, but it could be even for a chain for a pocket watch, possibly. Not massively old, probably 100, 150 years, but probably lost by a farm worker. Still, it's a find. I'm just cutting across a strip of stubble, detecting as I go, just to clean the boots and get the mud off, and we've got a reasonable 78. Reasonable. Easy digging. Easy digging, and we're out again at the first hole. Oh, I thought that was round, it's not. Oh, it is. Ha! Huh. Well, there you go. I thought that bit there, I thought it was a fitting for furniture, but it's not. It is a coin. Fantastic. Fantastic. Nice to get another one. And just inside the last 20 minutes. It's been very quiet for the last hour. Very quiet. I've dug like maybe 2 holes. But we'll see if we can get something off this. Oh, dropped it. It is a halfpenny. I just can't get a date off it, unfortunately, but Britannia is there. On the other side though, we can identify it. Because it is Gorgeous George. George V. George V halfpenny, sometime between 1910 and 1936. He travelled quite extensively around the world. And when he did so, he liked killing things. I was doing a bit of reading up about George V. I mean, he was a fairly miserable character. But he went to Nepal on one occasion for 10 days. And he went hunting. And he shot something like... it was like 22 lions, 10 rhinoceroses and a bear. And on another occasion he went on a pheasant shoot somewhere in England. And he shot 1,000 pheasants in 6 hours, which is the equivalent of shooting one every 20 seconds. And he even commented in his diaries that he went a bit over the top. Do you think? Something quite strange about that, isn't there? He married Mary of Teck, who was actually engaged to his brother when he died of gonorrhea and other complications, including pneumonia. Mary of Teck was quite a character as well. I think she was a kleptomaniac, so she didn't quite steal things, but she used her influence to steal things, if that makes sense. If she came to visit you for dinner or coffee or whatever, she would often compliment you on your dining table or your silverware or your crystal glasses. And when she left, she made sure she had them in her possession. So there you go. What a strange bunch. Barely 15 feet from the halfpenny is a screamer of a 90. Oh, we're out. 88. Ooh, get in the ground. Double coinage would be fantastic given that the last hour has been terrible. Nope, that's not a coin. Oh, we've got a palm guard, I think. Well, I'll take that. Yep, it is. It is a lead palm guard. Big one. Very big one. Give it a wee rub, see if there's anything on it but the remnants of someone who's been doing some leather working. Screaming target. A little bit bent and misshapen, bit broken off the top there. You can see it would have had an oval shape and fits in the palm of the hand. So you can stitch leather, pierce leather, and could be any age. They've been around for thousands of years. But it is another nice find. Phenomenal. A late flurry. Well, in the end, turned out to be a pretty good day. Trust me, it took a lot of work to get there. That was almost 9 hours of detecting. So let's have a wee look at the best from today. Well, perseverance pays off. Trust me, this has been a very tough day, but look at that. We got a handful of finds, 4 coins, 1 silver, definite silver. This Brazilian coin, I really don't know. I don't have an internet signal. There's no date on it. The problem here is the sandy soil conditions. It could be 100 odd years old, but then again it could be 30 years old. I really don't know on that one. But pretty sure it's not silver, but a really interesting find. What is definitely silver though is this, a 1 shilling of Queen Victoria. I think the date is 1897, so 92.5%. 1 halfpenny, George V, 1 penny, George V, the token, which is a farm token, and this, which could be another bit of silver, but I really don't know. I've done my best to try and find any sign of hallmarks on it, but no luck. But because it's squashed on that edge, it may well be that there's a hallmark there which is obliterated. But I'll test it when I get home and I will let you all know in a future video if it is indeed sterling silver or not. But to me, it's got potential. Some of you might be laughing though and saying, John, that's a bottle top. We've also got the little bit of jewellery there next to the farm token, the bit of chain, the palm guard and the fire powder face stuff. But the find of the day are these 3 items here. So we've got 3 spindle whorls. This one though is decorated and is absolutely stunning. Now the interesting thing is, I know a couple of years ago up the glen there was an archaeological investigation that took place, multiple roundhouses which dated from the Iron Age, and I think they did a 6 or 7 week excavation, and the star find from that entire excavation was one of these, a spindle whorl, and it wasn't quite as good as this one. So archaeologically it's quite important. Might not be amazing to look at, but certainly their one was slightly more plain than this version, but it was believed to be from the Iron Age, so a couple of 1,000 years old. So that would be absolutely amazing. So definitely one to report to the museum. Lovely dot and line decoration. The other 2 though, unfortunately, are plain and simple, but still, in the end, that is a pretty good day's detecting. Another great day detecting the fields of Perthshire. A lovely bit of silver with a coin. The Brazilian coin, I don't know if it's got silver content. I need to look that up. Also need to figure out how old it is, because if it's from the late 19th century, early 20th century, then that ties in with all the other coins. But if it turns out to be from the 1960s or 70s, which I suspect it is, then that's just a bit weird. So anyway, we'll look at that one later on. I'll get back to you about the little pot, whether or not that is silver. Once I get home, I'll do the test, so don't go anywhere. I'll tell you in a moment. And other than that, well, another great day on the fields of Perthshire. Now, if you're not already subscribed, then please hit the button, help support the channel. And I'm glad to be back on the silver because I've had a couple of really disappointing days. Thank you all for watching, and thanks for joining me on another dig. I'll see you soon. Take care, and thanks for watching.